Hey everyone, it's Matt aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to talk about Fallout 4 and 5 mods that you can use for your next playthrough for Fallout 4. Now 2 of which you are probably or have heard of before, and 3 are maybe the lesser known mods that we'll look at and kind of give you an idea of the things you want to look out for when you're starting a new game. Some quality of life things as well. I want to actually turn this into a 3-part series, so if you guys have any suggestions, put those in the comments down below and I will look into those for future parts. But for this one, we're just going to look at 5 mods that'll switch up your game when you start a new one. So this is a familiar sight with any new startup of a Fallout 4 game. You basically choose your character, you spend hours upon hours trying to figure out how your character's gonna look, or you just randomize it and that's how you do it. So usually you'd go through the motions of, answering the door and then talking to the man from Vault Tech. This mod cuts all of that out. If you want to, you can still actually do the vanilla playthrough even with this mod activated. I don't know why you would, but you can also start it from a particular spot. That way you're not actually having to go through the whole Vault Tech opening the door thing and just that initial intro, which is kind of long. So when you exit the bathroom, this is the prompt that you'll get, and you'll have 3 choices. The top one is going to be your create your own adventure. You can spawn somewhere and get some equipment, or you can just say, hey, this is a memory, I don't want to relive this, and then you hop right into where Kellogg kills your husband or wife and takes your baby. That's where you wake up. You wake up in the vault. Now let's take a look at the top option, which I think is probably the most fun, and this is, like, say you can create your own adventure here. You can say, hey, I just want to pick my stats and be on my merry way, or you can actually switch it up a little bit. Start Me Up is basically giving you the chance to have some traits of your own, kind of old school Fallout, or just go right into special, pick those, and that be it, and then you can be dropped somewhere with some equipment if you like, or you can just be wandering around aimlessly. Whichever you want to do, whether you want to make it hard for yourself or make it just kind of a neat, cool start, then this is the mod you should probably check out. You can actually pick your experience level as well, so you can start at level 5, 10, 15, I think it goes up from there. So just be aware of that wherever you get dropped, because you might find yourself somewhere in a high level area and it might not work out so well for you. So when Fallout 4 first came out, there was a lot of mixed feelings on how you were talking to NPCs. You would see an option, you'd click on it, and then you would say something kind of different than what it was. There actually was some sequences where you might come off as rude when you were actually trying to just persuade somebody, but not be rude. So this kind of changes all that. We'll actually be in that interface when you talk to somebody, and then it'll pop up and it'll give you the 4 options and show you exactly what you're gonna say, with some of the stuff that may not matter when you're saying said thing, because you talk to a ton of people. I mean, that is Fallout 4. You talk to people, you get quests, you go and do the quest, and then you talk to more people. So I think this is a good mod that I think most of you probably already know about, if you know anything about Fallout 4 mods or it's come up before, but I thought I'd put it in this video as a familiar option, but also one to say, hey, just so you know, this is something you can download and try out for yourself. Now there is a patch that's about 6 megabytes. If you have a problem with Lookup failed when you're on like load screens, or if you're looking through your menus, it might say Lookup failed. There is a mod that you can put under this one to fix that, hopefully. So I will put that link in the description down below as well. Now you may have not heard of this mod, but it does exactly what it says. It makes the map markers small. mini, especially when you've seen the entire map and have all these icons. You don't want to be moving your cursor trying to pick the right one that you want to fast travel to. There's not a ton to say about this mod other than that it does what it says. I would probably suggest using something like improved maps and visible roads as well. That way you guys can actually see the roads on the Pip-Boy as well as those smaller map markers, which makes looking at the map on your Pip-Boy that much better. Never mind that horrible shooting there, but it's time to talk about another mod, and this is the Commonwealth Warfare mod, and it actually adds realistic gun sounds to most of the ballistic weapons, not all of them. That 10mm pistol sounds kind of bad, and some of the ballistic weapons do kind of sound the same, but you still kind of hear that echo. Pretty neat mod to try out. Definitely not a big mod, so it's something you can just kind of try out, and if you don't really notice too much of a difference or don't really care, you can just remove it. I think this is something that I'm going to keep in my load order for a while because it's nice, and then you compare it with another mod, Reverb Ambience Overhaul, which I actually talked about in a previous video, which I will link down below. It's sad but true. This mod is easily one of my favorites, but it's so hard to show because I'll probably get copyrighted for playing any of the songs if you're familiar with how YouTube copyright works. So I'm just going to show you what is included in the mod and kind of tell you about it. So Old Gold Radio is 50, 60 songs, even some old favorites with some of the other Fallout games and their radio stations, which is really cool. So if you're looking for something a little bit different and we're kind of disappointed in the main game's radio stations, this is a really good alternative. I think it's a really good addition and just helps immerse you in the world a little bit more. So there you have it, 5 mods, well, technically 7 considering the 2 that I mentioned, but 5 mods that you should probably look at when you're starting a new game for Fallout 4. And these are by no means any definitive list or anything. These are just 5 mods that I think would be kind of nice if you started off with in the game rather than adding them later on. Some of which, like the Start Me Up, obviously you will want to do that when you start a new game rather than add it after the fact, because it's not really going to help you out at all. These are just some things, and you see my Elgato is kind of freaking out. But since this is my first video after the new year, thank you so much for watching this past year. If you've been around or if you're just discovering the channel, welcome, happy new year, and I hope you all make it a great one. One of my resolutions is to kind of double down on YouTube and try to make sure that all of my videos are nice, jam-packed with a lot of good information, but also kind of fun to watch or come back to after a while. Let me know with comments, feedback, all that stuff. Super great. Leave a like if you guys enjoy a video, and feel free to let me know if there's something you didn't like in the comments down below of each video. With that said, I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.